Learning a new language, French. I was motivated to learn French by my love for the culture of France. Paris is one of the fashion capitals, and as this is one of my many passions, I have always been envious of those who can speak the language. I tend to daydream about sitting at a cafe in Paris in a truly inspired outfit, chatting with a friend in French while sipping on a latte. I know that sounds a little stereotypical, nonetheless it is an aspiration of mine. As I spent more time learning French and attempting to converse with my sister, I felt more connected to my goal, as though it was becoming increasingly foreseeable in my future. I have a desire to travel following the completion of my education degree, and practicing my French made me feel as though I was making progress toward these plans. I thoroughly enjoyed the time I spent working with my sister. I looked forward to the time we would plan to work on my French. We would usually head to a Starbucks and just sit and talk. The only challenge I found was that our sessions were not very fluent, and so it was hard to gauge my progression. We would begin a conversation and then stop when I didn't understand or had made a mistake. These interruptions occurred quite frequently, and so sometimes I would become discouraged. I enjoyed Live Mocha online because I felt very confident when it would show me my scores after completing activities. The evidence of learning gave me confidence that I was progressing toward my goal. I also loved that I could teach English while learning French. Live Mocha lessons cost tokens. You can receive more tokens to take more lessons if you review the work of others that are learning English. This feature made me feel that much better after spending time on this website. I did not feel so alone trying to learn a language. The one weakness of Live Mocha is that I did not find I could practice my speech as much as I would have liked. But the conversations with my sister and Live Mocha sessions worked well for me. I did not have much opportunity to practice my new language skills. My mother can speak some French from her travels to Quebec, and so after I had spent time with my sister, she would also converse with me in French. Other than that, there was not significant opportunity to practice. This definitely relates to my success in learning because it is believed by most people that immersion is a very effective way to successfully learn a language. I do not think that my French speaking will progress until I am able to be fully immersed in the culture. That is one thing that I think is a benefit to ELLs in the classroom, is that they are immersed in an English-speaking environment, and so they are constantly being exposed to reading, writing, speaking, and comprehending English. I was very excited to begin the language learning process. As I have mentioned before, it seemed like a step toward my goals and plans to travel following Teachers College. Live Mocha provided me with a lot of confidence due to the results I was achieving from the activities. I would become flustered and overwhelmed at times during the conversations with my sister. If I was consistently making mistakes and had to stop, I would find myself wanting to give up. This is an important lesson to learn for when I am teaching ELLs. Sometimes they are going to have days where they need a break. I will encourage them to bring a book from home to read, or if I am lucky enough to have another student in my class that speaks their native language, I would give them some time to converse in the classroom. They say that math is the international language, and I have always been fluent in math. The ability to think logically was a help to me with learning French grammar and vocabulary. The structure of the language reminded me of math equations and calculations. Equations such as the masculine and feminine verbs, as well as learning the pronouns and their respective verb endings, came naturally to me. Oral skills are my weakness. I could not seem to take all of the things I had learned and translate them into meaningful sentences and opinions. I was able to master simple phrases, but I have yet to be able to converse in French, and that is frustrating, as conversing is supposed to be the easier component to learn, according to what we have learned in course articles. I think that conversing with others comes with immersion and having to speak in order to have any interaction at all. For this reason, successfully conversing was the most rewarding because of the challenges that it presented to me. Although it may seem overwhelming to them, I truly believe that having ELLs completely immersed into an English program is a benefit to them in the long run. Simply having French lessons did not make me feel like I was making any progress. Whereas when you're in an environment where you either speak English or you don't speak at all, it gives learners almost a desperate edge to learn so that they can communicate their needs to other people. With that being said, a classroom is not the place where students should be experiencing such a high-pressure atmosphere. As a teacher, I need to be as supportive as possible to these students, providing them with whatever they need to succeed in learning a new language. I would try to provide achievement indicators in all areas of language development so that they can feel pride in their accomplishments. I may also invoke some sort of system in the classroom where the students, if they need a break, they can go to a designated area of the classroom and spend more time there reading a book from home, drawing, or simply reflecting. They would need to ask my permission, but I would have no problem with an ELL taking some time away from classroom routine if they had been having a difficult day. Learning a new language requires a highly supportive environment where it is safe to take risks in your learning, where success is acknowledged, but also where it is possible to step back from learning when it becomes overpowering. I also think that ELLs must be treated with equity in the classroom. They should not be held at the same standard as their English-speaking classmates if their language knowledge is not at the same level. I will remember this experience when I have ELLs in my classroom and treat them all with compassion and respect for taking on such a difficult endeavor.